Ciao, my love. Welcome back to another episode of the Piloni Dude podcast. Con me, Mayra Piloni. And today I want to talk to you about this topic. If he wanted to, he would. And if you're a lover girl and you're a high quality woman, and obviously you're going to be attracting all sorts of men because you're a very attractive woman, you have beautiful energy, you're a quality woman. You're going to attract all sorts of men, but you're going to attract also the charmers, right? The ones who talk a lot of sweet nothings and they do a lot of talking, and it's very sweet and it's very charming. And a lot of times, if you're looking for that soulmate or you're right, the partner that's, truly for you, and you're, talking to different men, um, it's easy for a lover girl to sometimes fall for these sweet, charming boys. Maybe they're attractive, they're very charming, they're very seductive, but there's no action. And then they give you a lot of excuses. I'm going to get into some examples. But this podcast episode is for you so that maybe you can listen to this and you can maybe you're going through a situation right now. And maybe this message right now will kind of help you see a little bit more clear. Because I know I've been there many times where, I'm talking to someone and, they just seem so good. Maybe there's a really strong connection with this person. I'm not even going to get into the spiritual connections because that's another topic in itself. Many of us are going to meet different types of soulmates throughout our life, and they're going to feel really strong, some of them. And a lot of times, those are just, people that we reunite with from a past life that we're just meant to kind of go through a lesson. It's meant to bring up some trauma so that it can rise to the surface and we can heal it, or we can at least acknowledge it. But, I really want to talk about how you have to honor yourself, have self respect, self love, and that if you're a quality woman and you give it your all and you want it all, then wait for the man who shows you that he is going to give it his all to be with you. And I have many experiences throughout my dating life where men have shown me that. You know, I actually posted something on my Instagram on both the personal and my Pilonitude account about an experience I had with one of my first serious boyfriends. He was an English guy. He was a lot older than me. He was a bodyguard for a very famous singer, Sting. I think many of you know the song "Every Breath You Take," one of his most famous songs. And when we were dating, I actually didn't know who he was working for because it was kind of secretive. Like he couldn't go and tell people that he was a bodyguard, that he was security for this famous singer, because of security purposes. So when we first started talking, like he told me he was a security guard or whatever, but he used to be in the military. And I didn't really know who he was working for, but I know that he texts me a lot. He called me a lot. Because he was long distance. I was in Chicago. At one point, I was in California. I was in LA. And then I went back to Chicago, and he was in London. And then at the time, he went to Florence because he was working for this singer. And he was doing security work at the estate of Sting. He was, how do you say this? Patrolling the area, the house, his dogs, taking care of him, making sure, security purposes, things like that. And so, um, he still put in work. He still made time to FaceTime me when he had a chance, when he had a break. After he sometimes would tell me, "Oh, I have to walk the dogs, or I have to take the dogs out. I'll message you in a bit." Like, this guy, mature man, very attractive, had a really good job. And he was putting in all this effort to court me. He was really interested in me. He was crazy about me. And I laugh because I'm a Scorpio and he was also a Scorpio. And I always say Scorpios, like, we mean business. When we really want someone and we are crazy about someone, like, we put in the work. We go all in. That's why when you are coming at a Scorpio, you never want to come half in, half out, or with crumbs. We will sniff that miles away and we will not tolerate that. But I'm going to say this for any of you, okay? You should not tolerate crumbs. Now, again, back to the story. This guy would FaceTime me, would text me, would call me. We were long distance. Eventually, he bought a ticket to come to Chicago. He had some vacation time. He came to Chicago, met me, met my family, and we formalized our relationship. And this is just one of many examples that I have with men who went above and beyond to be with me and to have a serious relationship with me. And nowadays, I don't know what is going on in the dating life, what is going on with men. I'm pretty sure that there are a lot of women out there who have this complaint. I'm not the only one. And this is why this message is for you. It's for you to realize that that true warrior king, that man who's gonna give it his all to be with you is still out there. Because one thing I also say is if you exist, he exists. And so even though there's a lot of clowns, there's a lot of low effort men and crumb givers, there are kings, there are men who put in a lot of work, a lot of effort to be with you, and they will show you with actions. Pay attention to actions. Don't pay attention to the sweet words, okay? Because let's say you're talking to someone and he texts you, let's say he texts you every day, but he takes a really long time to reply to your messages. You know, he says he's busy, he's going out, he's doing things. Maybe you're at a long distance, so you don't actually live in the same city, which is usually always my case. I have this experience. I have Venus in the ninth house. So I have always had European relationships, always long distance relationships. So let's say you're having a long distance relationship with someone and he texts you, but he's not very consistent. And then he doesn't even reply to one of your texts. Let's say that you're putting in all this work into texting or calling or having a conversation with him, and you sense that he's not really listening to anything you're saying, doesn't really reply to what you're saying, or doesn't reply back to you, but then you see that he's stalking your stories on Instagram. So he has time to stalk you on Instagram, but he doesn't have time to text you back. That's a red flag. That's a red flag. And that's a little boy. That is a boy who has communication issues and doesn't know what he wants. And even if he likes you a lot, he's not for you. And you have to let go of that fantasy because maybe you like him. He's attractive. He's a charmer. Just like I said at the beginning, those are very seductive men, but they're not the one that you want. You want the mature man who knows what he wants and is going to put in the effort and the work to be with you. Okay? He's not going to fucking ignore your texts and then go on Instagram to watch all of your stories. He's not going to do that. Like that's actually embarrassing because he knows that you're going to see that he was watching your stories, but that he didn't give a fuck about texting you back. And then the next day he's going to text you and give you excuses about why he was so busy. Oh, I was so busy. Oh, I had so much to do. Oh, I got home late. Oh, I was tired. Oh, work is exhausting. Oh, blah, blah, blah. You can name any excuse in the book. They say it. They're going to find any excuse to keep you there, to keep you hooked because, they're crumb giving and they don't want you to realize that, you're wasting your time. But your intuition and your soul already knows that you're wasting your time. Like you're going to feel it. I actually made a post about this. I posted it also on YouTube. Listen to your body. Your body's always telling you if a man is for you or not for you. How do you feel? Do you have anxiety? Did you feel anxiety after you spoke to him on the phone? Okay. Because if you don't feel good, if you don't feel uplifted, if he's not motivating your best self, motivating you to be like more of you, then he's not the one. So pay attention to how you feel when you're talking to someone, when you're on the phone with them, when pay attention to how they text you, how they respond to you. Are they texting you back? Are they taking a long time? Pay attention, be an observer. Scorpios are powerful at this. We are excellent observers, okay? We notice everything. And, it can be intimidating to some. But I got to tell you, the men who have been serious about me in my life are not intimidated by that. They put in all the work, all the effort to be with me. And I even have another experience, not just with a Scorpio man, but with a Gemini man. Okay. Everyone complains about how Geminis are very, iffy. They're not really consistent and committed. But I had an experience actually with a Gemini man who was like, uh, I would say under a year younger than me. And he was also a professional. He had a high position for Boeing, the makers of the planes. And at the time, when was this? This is a couple years, not that long ago, 2023. During that time, he was still doing some work from home, and then other times he was going to the office. But like he was another one who long distance as well. He was in Amsterdam, and I was in Chicago, and he also was very consistent with me, called me every day, texts me in the morning, in the evenings, like when he woke up, when he went to sleep. We would have like dates on the on FaceTime on the computer. We each have our little drink, tea, whatever, and we would just have long conversations. And he was so determined to be with me for various reasons. I'm not going to get into private details. He couldn't come to Chicago. So he was willing to spend as much as he needed to get me a first class ticket on KLM to fly to Amsterdam so that I can go and spend some time with him because he wanted to formalize our relationship in person. So that's why I'm telling you, like a guy who is truly interested in you, even professional men who, are very busy, they are doing a lot with their day and their life, they will still make the time and the effort to be with you. So I'm going to end the episode here because I really just want to make that clear. And I really wanted to share this with you so that you stop accepting crumbs. Know your worth, love yourself, and know that what you want, it exists. You just got to keep believing, focus on you. Seriously, focus on you. Do you travel, have fun, work on your purpose, and God, the universe, whatever you believe in, is going to put that right man for you right in front of you at the right time, at the right place, at the right moment. Okay? I love you. Mwah. Ciao.